James Duderstadt spent his undergraduate years at Yale and earned master's and PhD degrees from California Institute of Technology, but he allows his maize and blue right down to his genetic structure.
Go blue, and hail to the victors valiant!
Not surprising, for aside from a brief stint as a postdoctoral fellow at Caltech, Duderstadt has spent his entire professional career at Michigan. One of his daughters has a UM medical degree. The other is an engineering graduate student at Michigan. He and wife Ann, high school sweethearts in Missouri, arrived at Michigan in 1969 when he joined the nuclear engineering faculty.
This bright young guy who just buzzed in from Caltech, who seemed to live almost every hour of the day in a red and blue striped rugby shirt and cut-off blue jeans.
Trained as a physicist, Duderstadt moved into administrative activities even while garnering teaching awards at the college. By 1981, he was Dean of the College of Engineering, guiding completion of $70 million in new facilities, doubling the sponsored research activities of the college, and promoting programs that included new high-tech ventures between the university and private business.
He literally kept a sheet of paper taped to the wall next to his desk with a list of about 6 or 7 things he intended to accomplish, and each time he accomplished one, he would check it off and move to the next.
In 1985, he was named to the nation's primary science policy group, the National Science Board, which he chaired in the early 90s. In 1986, he was named UM Provost, responsible for all faculty and staff appointments and in charge of the annual operating budget. And in 1988, Duderstadt was picked as the UM's 11th president.
The momentum and quality of this university, of any great university, must flow up from the faculty and the students and the staff and energize those of us in the administration.
Jim really had a 3-part agenda, which we've talked about many times. First was to get moving in terms of underrepresented minorities.
In a sense, we believe that the University of Michigan has a mandate, if you will, a mission, to develop a model of what a pluralistic multicultural community must be to serve a pluralistic America of the 21st century.
In order for a document such as the Michigan Mandate to work, it must have very strong presidential leadership. And that is what distinguishes the Michigan Mandate from many other plans that you see in a variety of colleges and universities nationwide.
To have a president stand up often against very fierce opposition and simply say, we're doing this, first of all, because it's morally right. And then he would list the other reasons why we were making this effort for a real diversity.
During the time that the Michigan Mandate has been in place, the University of Michigan has continued to be in the upper ranks of colleges and universities nationwide, or internationally for that matter. So Dr. Duderstadt's plan to link social diversity with academic excellence has been one of the major accomplishments of his administration.
Secondly, the women's agenda, and we're already seeing major benefits flowing as a consequence.
Now, it must be remembered that we started out with small numbers, but over the past 5 years, the proportion of minority women in senior level faculty positions has increased by about 75% at the rank of full professor, and a little bit less than that, about 60% in the associate. These initiatives he has fostered as university initiatives, and they are supported by the Board of Regents, and my expectation is that they will continue to go forward.
And the third one was an international agenda, making a more diverse population here, and also building into the curriculum more international perspective. We have founded a new international institute connecting us with all of the professional schools around the campus, taken as a model by institutions across the country. I had a good sense of his commitment and interest in undergraduate issues and his determination to improve the undergraduate experience. You know, it was that kind of leadership and commitment on his part that made it possible for me to feel enthusiastic about taking on this role. We've given shape in terms of the specifics to the initiative, and he has been very supportive. He's helped us carry our message beyond the college to the university, to the regents, to members of the legislature, out to the public.
Part of the attraction that I carried for him was the fact that I was an educator that had a PhD in education, and that he thought that was the image that the department needed to carry. In addition to that, he has been very, very aggressive and supportive through the NCAA and particularly the Big Ten. He has been chair of the Big Ten presidents in the last year, year and a half, and in that role has been very, very aggressive about making sure that we don't forget the order of those words: student-athlete, not athlete-student.
It used to be that if you could think in terms of 5 years in the future, a 5-year plan, and a constantly moving 5 years, but that was a reasonable planning horizon. I am under the impression that many times President Duderstadt is 20 years out into the future, and easily 10.
He relentlessly asks why anything has to be the way that it is. Why do we have to do undergraduate education the way that we do? What's preventing you from doing it otherwise?
James Duderstadt's courage and his vision and his enthusiasm, his belief that the important thing to do is to find good people and give them a job to do and leave them to do it. I believe that those qualities have gone far in making our healthcare enterprise here one of the best healthcare enterprises in the world.
When President Shapiro told us he was leaving for Princeton, we did identify, we thought, what some of the major problems facing the university would be in the next 10 years. We knew that sometime in that decade we would need to have another capital campaign, that we would have to seek a record amount of money.
$1 billion in the campaign for Michigan. $1 billion.
And it was under Jim's leadership that the decision was made that we go that far. The billion-dollar campaign, the biggest by far of any public university, both as a vision and the support he gave it, will clearly be something that will impact the university for a long time.
In the past 8 years, the university's endowment has increased more than fourfold to $1.6 billion. The university has the highest Wall Street credit rating among public universities. In research, the university attracted more than $400 million in government and private support in the last fiscal year. But as overall state funds became a smaller percentage of the UM budget, non-state funds had to play a major part in nearly $1 billion of construction on the 3 UM campuses.
I think when I became dean, our buildings were an average age of 63 years, and they hadn't been built to last that long, and they weren't lasting very well that long. And Jim's effort to rebuild the central campus has been absolutely essential.
The transition of the ugly to the Harold and Vivian Shapiro Undergraduate Library.
Thank you.
The new School of Social Work on the main campus are things that come immediately to mind, and of course all of the new structures out on the North Campus.
Operation Belgone, complete success.
And a substantial rehabilitation of our old and fine buildings, but old.
Renovation of one of the Ann Arbor campus's oldest buildings, the Detroit Observatory, built in 1854, has been one focus of Ann Duderstadt's fundraising efforts, while the operation of the university's guest residence, Inglis House, has also been a special interest to her.
And the most satisfying, rewarding part of this position has been the marvelous people that we work with, people that love this university and are deeply committed to it, from students to faculty to staff to regents to alumni. I mean, these people really care about Michigan. They believe the university is very important, and they work very hard on its behalf. And it's just wonderful to be able to work with and for people that are that dedicated.